Last Friday, our daughter climbed down those steep, narrow steps that you get in those old homes built in 1920s. You know the ones. They're the same stairs that nearly 10 years ago, one of her little friends was climbing down, and she turned to me and yelled, "You have the best treehouse in town." Of course, we all laughed and the kids agreed. And I just thought, of course, this is what she would think coming from their previous home that we just moved from a week prior. Because the home that we chose specifically for our family is the exact opposite of the norm from where we live. Let me back up. Today is about how this move gave me the biggest gift of my life, a boundary so precious to me, and how after nearly 10 years as a parent, I'm inverting that boundary. So it's the same thing, it's just going in a different direction, and I'll explain that in just a second. So before we moved into this tiny house under 1,000 square feet right on Main Street in our little town, we lived in this nice house by the golf course. But before that, we lived in what I thought was our perfect house. It was a townhouse, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet, absolutely perfect for us, except we were near an intersection where people would blow the stop sign multiple times a day. And we had a son who was a little escape artist. So my mom brain and heart could not handle that. So we went on the hunt to move, and nothing came on the market. I mean, we waited and waited and waited. And finally, this house near the golf course came up. It was bigger than what we wanted, more expensive than what we wanted, but it was on a dead-end street, so our kids would be safe. So we chose to move. I tell you that piece of the story because I want you to know why we ended up in this bigger house in the first place and why we needed to downsize. Because my entire value system is around protecting my time. It's the one thing that I started my life with Ryan on. I literally told him on our very first date at TGI Fridays that I'm looking for a partner to build a life where we can act or live like we're retired now versus waiting to live for someday. And he said, that sounds great. So we got married 6 weeks later, and in September, we're going to be celebrating 20 years of marriage. So now we're in this big house, bigger than we ever wanted, working more and more and more to pay for things, cleaning, like spending so much time cleaning it rather than making memories with my kids. And yet we still collected, all 4 of us, we just still collected in this little pod using a fraction of the square footage of this home. Like, it was just ridiculous. We were stressed out, not living congruent with our value system, and everything just felt wrong. And around that time, another house popped up on the market. This tiny little 2-story on Main Street, so cute, so quaint. And we moved in the dead of winter, and it was perfect. It was perfect in so many ways. I can plug my vacuum into a single outlet and clean the entire house. It's perfect because it has stuff boundaries. You can only bring so much into a tiny environment. Literally, our primary closet is smaller than most people's coat closets in the homes that are surrounding us, like what's typical in our area. It's just perfect. Our bedroom is actually on the main level. And in the 1920s, our room used to be considered the smoking room. So we don't even have a bedroom door. We have a curtain, and our kids have the top level. It was just awesome. So many wonderful boundaries around this home. But the biggest thing that this home allowed me to protect was a boundary around our overhead. And it let me protect my own personal boundary, which was, I'm not going to buy into the idea that bigger is better and more is best. I feel like we can sometimes become brainwashed in thinking that accumulating all of this stuff and getting weighed down by all this debt so that we have to keep working for the stuff instead of building stronger relationships and making memories with our loved ones and actually enjoying life, that almost gets lost in the process. And I think the biggest wake-up call for me was having the opportunity to live abroad in college. And I was in a part of a culture, immersed in part of a culture that was so different than the culture I grew up in. I grew up in a family where essentially every single kid was born with a hammer in our hands. We work all the time. And I would say the majority of us, minus my one brother, we're all workaholics. And so I've always had to have very firm boundaries around that. So my whole thing was that I really want to work to live, not live to work. So we get into this house, the kids move into the upper level. We have our curtain for our bedroom door, and we fill this house with laughter and friends themed parties where it's like birthday parties, except minus the gifts. And we have tent outs and sleepovers, and so many memories are made because we can actually have the time to make these memories and we're not stressed out because of the overhead. And it was exactly the type of childhood we wanted to give our children. And again, these four walls, they helped me hold all of that together. And like I started last Friday, our daughter, she climbed down those steep, dangerous stairs that used to scare me so much when we first moved in. One last time, her bags are packed, her car is loaded up, and she flew from our funny little perfect treehouse of a home. And now my whole idea of loving her has to change. The way I held boundaries to protect how I showed up for her, now I essentially have to invert the whole process. I have to make sure that I don't reach for her when I'm missing the old season. I have to take a step back and give her room to expand now. She has to be able to take up space in her new life, and I can't be there keeping her small. So it's the same parenting skill, it's just moving in an opposite direction. I'm showing up for her now in a way that doesn't make her feel sad or bad because I'm sad. Because I know for me, it's not just sadness. Obviously, I'm sad. It was the best being her mom when she was under our roof and doing all the mom things. Like, it was just the best. But more than that, like, more things are happening internally for me. Like, I understand that it's very hard for me when things come to an end because of my history. I've had a lot of loss, a lot of death. And so, yeah, things ending is very tough. And I am sad about that season ending because, like I said, I loved being that version of a mom. Like, that was just the coolest thing ever. And I'm so excited for her. I can't tell you when she sends me a picture or gives me an update about her new friend group or what they're doing. I can't describe, well, if you're a parent, like how much my heart just swells for her. I mean, it's so big. I'm so happy. So obviously a lot of stuff is going on. I can tell like old trauma is being activated. I can tell lots of stuff is going on inside of me. I'm missing the old season, wanting that back, wanting more time. And at the same time, oh my gosh, like I couldn't ask for a more successful launch. Like, she is just having the time of her life. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have worries and regrets, just like every parent does. I worry down the road, will our kids come back, drag us to family therapy, and tell us how we traumatized them by not living a typical life? By prioritizing time with them over luxury vacations, over the bigger house and lots of stuff, will our sacrifices end up hurting them in some way? I do worry about that, and I have ever since they became teenagers. I never did until high school. And then I started to really notice, okay, they can't have all their friends over to our house anymore because it's too small. And there's just other things that came up where the kids were comparing their life. Their friends would go on these vacations where they would have infinity pools coming up to their room. And it's like, oh my gosh, where's this place? Like, I've never even seen this in real life ever. And, we're, packing up to go to South Dakota. So it's, things that you worry about. And plus, I also have regrets because as you get older, you calm down, you get more patient, and then you look back and you're like, man, I wish I could have done that different or that different. I would do so much different. But I want to tell you, the one thing that I'm very, very grateful for is the one thing that's missing. And I want to tell you this just in case you have younger kids and you're listening to this. When my dad got his expiration date, we were sitting in the lawn watching the waves. I got to grow up on a lake. I was so lucky. And he said, you know what, kid? I wouldn't ask for any of my money back. Like, this has been a hell of a ride. But I got to tell you, it's gone way too fast. It went way too fast. So keep your eye on the ball and don't blink. And man, is he right? Like, even though I'm telling you, I could not have spent more time with my kids, it still went by too fast. And so the thing that I am most grateful for right now in terms of regrets is what's missing. It's the fact that I don't have that voice in the back of my head telling me it's over. It's too late. You should have looked up sooner. You missed it. She's gone. You were too busy keeping up with the Joneses, too busy chasing the next promotion, too busy just trying to survive the rat race, too busy paying attention to the wrong stuff and missing what was right in front of you. I don't have that. So if this is hitting you right now, this might be your chance to look up, reassess, because I promise you, your kid is going to be throwing up their graduation cap before you know it. And then it is over. And I don't want you to have that voice in the back of your head. So how am I handling this? Well, when I'm not talking about this, I'm actually fine. I told my husband after we, said our goodbyes, I told him, I'm just too happy for her to be sad. Like, there isn't any room in my body. And so I am very excited. I have taken a step back in terms of reaching for her. And I explained to her that in this season of life, for me to love you well, I need to take a step back so that you can take up space, really own your new environment, and not worry about me. And I don't want to be like reaching for you. So if you think I'm pulling back, it's only for me to allow you to fully expand so that I'm not hindering that at all. So I let her know that I was going to do that. And, so she fully understands. So kind of what I'm doing is I'm not reaching out first. I do say goodnight in our family group chat, like every other night. If she messages in the family group chat, I respond. If she calls me, I did not realize how much of a thing this was until right now. But for some people, and I think it's very common with her generation, they don't like to walk places without talking to people. They like to be on call, they say, with people. And so now I get calls where she's walking to her car and I get to talk with her. So it's like 8 minutes to go to her car and I get that 8 minutes. Or she had to go to my mom's to pick up a package because it was halfway between here and college. And I got to talk to her for 8 minutes plus 25 minutes. So that was amazing. And this morning, when I was prepping for this episode, I got a phone call and she was walking to the lunch hall. So I got 3 minutes and 25 seconds. It's so funny because they've always teased me because I am not tethered to my phone. It's normally on Do Not Disturb. It's not with me. If I go into Home Goods or Target and I just want to look at pretty things, I leave my phone in the car. And they've always just been like, Mom, you're such an irresponsible parent. And I'm like, no, your dad, he always has his phone right there. You're fine. And he's always home because of the life we built together. And now it's different. Now it's like my phone's always on. I'm hearing these notifications and I'm just waiting in case she calls because yesterday I had it on Do Not Disturb and I was getting ready and I didn't notice until I was done recording that she had called me at 9:40 in the morning. I was like, dang it. So won't be making that mistake again. So it's kind of funny how now I will have my phone on me at all times just in case she needs someone to talk to as she crosses the parking lot. One boundary I have right now is I can't go up to her room. So I have not been able to climb those steep, narrow stairs myself. And it's just because I think my brain has a little protective factor, like maybe it's pretending she's at camp or something. So I'm fine today. Maybe once I have to go up there, I'll come back and report to you that I'm having a nervous breakdown. But as of right now, I'm doing okay. And mainly I'm just working on converting the boundary that I had for so long to keep us all close. Now I'm working on converting that boundary, like completely inverting it so that she can fully come into this new season of her life. So that's it. That's the episode. It's a little bit more personal. I don't usually do this. I don't do this very often, but I really wanted it to land just in case you're younger, just in case you have, kids, and this might just be the message you needed right now to pause, reassess, look up, and remember, don't blink.